Hi, welcome to our series of reading the Bible daily in a year with
Mari.
and Les. And today we're going to get to Deuteronomy 20 all the way to 23, stopping at verse 14. Okay, guys, we continue talking about Moses because he's not ready to let the Israelites go. He still has so much to tell them. Y aquí les sigue todavía con su pep talk. Pero aquí ahorita les está dando ánimo. Because Moses knew that these battles that they were going to face were going to be hard. They were going to face real enemies, real people. And he was like, look, these people got chariots. All we got is sandals and the Lord. And Moses is reminding the people that God said, hey, I'm with you. I'm with you through thick and thin, so do not be afraid. Okay, now we're going to switch it up and now we're going to talk about the priest. And basically, before going into battle, the priest would stand in front of the army, would hype up the soldiers, and they would say, listen, Israel, do not lose heart. The Lord your God goes with you. He will fight for you and give you victory. Okay, now the officers again hablando con los soldiers y le decían, okay, we got a couple of questions for you guys. If you built a new house and you haven't lived in it, vayan a disfrutar su sala. Porque qué tal si te mueres en este war and you haven't even been chilling at your house? No, go. If you planted a vineyard, go. Váyanse y hagan su juguito de uvas. Now, if you're engaged y no se han casado, váyanse a casar. Y si alguien tiene miedo and you're shaking in your sandals, pues también váyase. Why were the officers asking these questions? Well, porque ellos no querían que nadie fuera a war, que tuvieran miedo o que tuvieran second thoughts. Like, no, they wanted to put together an army that was strong mentally and physically. And now the Bible continues to tell us that when the Israelites approached the cities, they would be like, first, we got to ask you, and we come in peace. We want to tell you, podemos entrar a tu city, podemos hacer las cosas a las buenas o podemos hacer las cosas a las malas. Now, si la ciudad decía, no, nosotros queremos pelear, okay, we gonna fight. So now we get to talking about the cities that were in the promised land. Now, those cities were different, and God knew that overtaking those cities was going to be hard. And God also knew that if the people copied anything that those cities were doing, it was going to be a whole spiritual disaster. So the Lord continued to command them to destroy all the altars and all the fake images and idols and all of that. Like, He didn't want anything that did not represent the Lord. Y esto no era por capricho de Dios. He was truly trying to protect their faith. Okay, luego en medio de toda esta plática hablando sobre wars, God is like, hold on, time out. Now, the trees, the fruit trees, don't go and destroy them. Now, imagine in the middle of this whole sermon about war, God is talking about protecting the mango trees. Now, why do you think God is telling them this? Because from these fruit trees, de ahí es donde los soldiers van a comer. Even in war, God is thinking a la larga. But now, y'all know how I like to think about how we can apply these sort of things in today's times. So for me, I thought about, okay, how could this be in our current lives? And it's basically like, la guerra en nuestras vidas in today's times is real. And the Lord knows that if our spirit is not strong, our flesh is weak. And basically, we can't be out here destruyendo our future blessings because of our emotions. So that's what God is talking about the fruit trees. Okay, so now we move on to Deuteronomy 21. Imagínense que aparece un muerto en el campo and nobody knows who did it. Instead of saying, ay, eso no es mi problema. Nope, the closest town had to take responsibility. The elders of that town had to come together and do a whole ceremony to God, telling the Lord, Señor, we did not do this. Please remove this guilt. Now, God proceeds to talking about women in the war. He says, listen up, soldiers. I know que se les van a ir los ojos and y'all are going to want to have some women and want to marry them, but you have to respect them. And this is what you have to do. You can't just treat women like property. Yes, you can bring them home, but you have to give them time to grieve. They have to have time to grieve their family and they have to calm their hearts. So la Biblia nos dice that women had a month to go through the grieving process. Ya después el hombre se casaba con la muchacha, but if during that time that man was not pleased with her, he couldn't humiliate her. He had to let her go. Okay, now, a little chismecito. If a man had two wives, yes, y'all, I said two wives, and he loved one more than the other, he couldn't play favorites with the kids. If the firstborn was born from the wife that he didn't really love, tough luck, ni modo. He still gets double the portion. He gets to inherit what he meant to inherit. Now, Moses describes what is a rebellious son. If a son was terco, rebellious, he was just not listening to his parents, los papás were to bring him to the elders. Pero si él no cambiaba, then he was to receive severe punishment. Bueno, y el capítulo termina diciendo that if somebody is executed for a serious crime and they were hung publicly, no podían dejar el cuerpo ahí toda la noche. Why? Porque en el juicio tenía que haber respeto. Okay, now let's move on to Deuteronomy 22. Aquí le sigue Moses hablando con los Israelites y les dice, ojo, y'all, God chose you. You are the chosen people. Pero Dios, He's watching cómo se comportan. Si ven una vaca o una oveja ahí perdida por ahí, no se hagan los locos. Recójanlas y devuélvalas a su owner. Luego se puso a hablar hasta de detallitos pequeñitos. He was talking about, si ven unos pajaritos de su mamá ahí tirados, y'all can take the little birds, pero no sean aprovechados. Dejen a la mamá sola. God nos está diciendo que hasta con los pajaritos uno tiene que tener corazón. Then he talks about, if you build a house, pon una bardita en el roof, porque qué tal si el primo está ahí arriba y se cae? We don't want to be responsible for their death. Then we continue talking about just a bunch of little things, like no hay que mezclar las semillas, no hay que poner un buey y un burro trabajando juntos, we can't mix our linen. Basically, this is so specific so that the Lord is telling us, like, no se mezclen con lo que es del mundo. Like, you guys are my chosen people. You guys are different. Y'all are to be set apart. So this is why these rules are important. Then we even continue talking about marriage. And it says that si un hombre acusaba a su esposa de algo falso and it was for real, not true, he was going to be punished. And he also could never divorce her because de aquí no te vas a salir de un compromiso nada más porque tú no lo quieres. Now let's move on to Deuteronomy 23. Okay, so here we get to talking about how not everybody is able to join the assembly of the Lord. And he names several things. One, someone born outside of a marriage could not be part of the covenant. I mean, so much to say that not even their 10th generation could join it. And it talks about some of the pueblos, así como los Moabites y los Ammonites, no podían entrar por muchas generaciones. Because when Israel came out of Egypt, they did not help them. No les ofrecieron ni un panecito ni agüita. And they even tried to curse them with Balaam. So these people are in the do not invite list. But now with the Edomites and the Egyptians, it was different. Like, yes, the Edomites were there was conflict here and there, but at the end of the day, they were family. And God says that their descendants could enter the assembly of God after 3 generations have passed. Okay, this was so much to go through, but we are done here. And Mari, what are we going to be reviewing tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow we're going to be in Deuteronomy chapter 23, starting at verse 15, all the way to chapter 27, stopping at verse 10.
Awesome. So come back tomorrow for more Biblia and vibes. Y no se les olvide traer su tecito
Y cafecito.
Bye.
Bye.